Hello, good morning, guys. My name is Oluwajoba Ogunwale. I'm the chief editor of Soccernet.ng, and we are back again on Soccernet Weekly. This week, we have a special guest in the house, Ariel Samuel. I call him NPFL Encyclopedia, local league professor. So we'll be talking about happenings in our local leagues and a lot of other things. Good morning, Ariel Samuel.
Good morning, Joba. Good morning to everyone watching us right now. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about the Nigerian football scene. It's been a while. I think it's quite nice for me to be here, and I hope that the next few minutes that we'll be talking and dissecting the Nigerian football scene, we'll be able to pass a lot of knowledge as regards the league and more exposure.
Yeah. Because everyone is actually focusing on the Premier League and La Liga right now. But let's get down to business straight. There
Yeah.
has been a lot of issues, controversies about the NPFL. It has been suspended for over 3 months now. So there has been
Yeah.
a lot of issues, points raised on how to end the league. And if I should, if I can recall, I think about 2 years ago or so, or 3 years ago, we had the same situation where the league was ended prematurely, and
Yeah.
Lobby Stars were not crowned champions, but they were made to be the
Sorry.
representative for in continental competitions. So, what do you
Absolutely.
think? Okay, what do you think? Let me start by saying, okay, has any decision been made on how to end the league this season?
Okay, first and foremost, I like the foundation you just laid as regards the league and citing an example of a similar situation that played out in 2018, whereby the league was abruptly ended on match day after match day 24. This time around, we are stopped at match day 25, whereas Jakada and Aqua United they played 26 games. Yeah, I think they played 26 games because they had to replay the second leg of that their e-bomb did before the season continues. The second start that began. So back to the discussion, I think no official decision has been taken as regards from the LMC angle or from the NFF angle or anything from the sports ministry. But you understand that uh, the chairman, I mean the League Owners Association, they made a pronouncement about 2 weeks ago saying that they've decided to end the season, like they are proposing that the season should be ended. Point per game system should be employed so that teams can be classified properly, so that they will be able to know teams that will finish on the continental places. And in one of the communiques they released, they also mentioned that there will be no relegation or promotion. So those are the releases we've had from the point of the chairman and the league owners association. But when it comes to the officials of the league, they only gave us four proposals about the LMC chairman in person of Chil Diko about 2 months ago, where he proposed about four options by which the season might be ended. That was when the idea of the Super Six came into being. Aside the Super Six, that the season will run as it should, will run its course, like the remaining 13 matches to be played. Then another one was for us to void the season, while the last one is for the teams to converge in a no distance venue from each other and ensure they play the remainder of the game so that it will be safe for all the players. But by and large, all those ideas now they've been thrown into the bin, and it seems that the point per game system is most likely to be employed. Even though there has been no official confirmation, and we are still waiting for it, and I feel that there's so much to decide upon. That is why there's been no official release from the LMC, neither from the NFF. But one thing was clarified, I think yesterday or before yesterday, by the sports minister, that things are not looking good for football to return. The number of coronavirus cases are still increasing daily, so you don't want people to cluster together in the venue saying they want to enjoy sport, especially football. So it's much easier for you to manage these individual sports than contact sports and things like that the NPFL. And you know that this is the period of the season. It will start from March 26 to March 38. That's where the business begins. And teams would not want to relegate, teams want to go to the continent. So it's quite dicey for the league organizers to just decide on their own. I believe they're also consulting with the government and seeing if they can find a way to just choose the season. But personally, on a personal note, I feel that the season we should void the season and let's start planning for 2020-2021 season.
Yeah, I got what you said. Now you said okay, there are two options. It's either the league run its full course and the popular choice, which is points per game option. Now speaking about the points
Yeah.
per game option, has been gaining a lot of attention with the media, which probably means it will be the likely resolution. But you said some teams have not played the same number of matches. For example, I think Enyimba has like about 3 or 4 games in
Five
hand,
games.
5 games in
Five
hand. You
games.
understand? So how would the points per game work when a team like Enyimba has like 5 games in hand, 5 games in hand, and there have been also criticism from Lobby United, the team that benefited from the decision last time the league was ended prematurely. Like, okay, the points per game would not work. How do you think, okay, points per game will work when a team like Keyimba has not played up to the has like 5 games in hand, and Lobby Stars are also complaining that okay, it won't work.
Okay, first and foremost, point per game system is not something that is unique to to football. It is unique to sports like ice hockey, sports like basketball. It is used for classification. Basically, it's not the football thing. It wasn't originate. It wasn't developed for football. So the reason why point per game is being employed is for classification of places, and for you to employ that, everyone and it's usually done when the teams have not played equal number of games. If you remember in 2018, all the teams at the point that the season was ended abruptly had played 24 games each. This time around, not all of them have done that. Not all of them. Kano players have games in hand. Rangers, I think they have two in hand. All other teams, aside the Yimba, who have five. They have five presently. So it's not the same situation that we found ourselves in back in 2018. This one is quite different. The number of games is not the same thing. So that's why the point per game system is being employed. Assuming every team in the NPFL has played 26 games each, we'll not be talking about point per game system. We'll just round up the season and the top three teams will go to the continent and the ITO Cup will also be concluded. So that's the situation that we found ourselves in. It's quite different. It's not something that we've had before. It's just similar, but it's not the same thing. The number of games they played is very, very different. That's why the point per game system is coming into play. There will be no need for a point per game system when the teams, all of them, have played the same number of games. So that's the reason why point per game system is being employed. So Lobby Stars have got no case this time around because it's very different, but it's a similar situation with that of 2018.
Okay. Now, among the points raised this season is that there won't be relegation and there won't be promotion, which sounds
Okay.
unfair to teams in the lower league, which the Nigeria National League. Now, as someone who grew up in Ibadan, I have like okay strong affiliation with shooting stars, and right now I think shooting stars are actually um, one of the top teams in the lower leagues. But the problem right now is that okay, they've made a case that okay they should promote teams from the lower leagues just like that. But the problem right now is that they've played just 5 games, and they've even been gone on break before the coronavirus issue started. Because I think I remember then. Do you think they have a case of probably getting promoted just
Very true.
after 5 games, or it's not visible?
The thing is, it's not feasible. Honestly, it's not feasible. I think the only thing they might have a case for is that why is it that their season has not been running before the COVID-19 invasion came about? Because I feel that that should be the point of discourse, not promotion or relegation on their own part. Because they need to understand the situation they were in before COVID-19 came into play. Uh, because I think Ama Ignis, who is the head of media for the Nigeria National League, came out point blank a week ago. Immediately the club met and started discussing about they need to get game promotion and some things must be relegated. He said it's quite different that it seems they need to discuss, there are more salient issues to discuss other than promotion, which is very, very important. how will the second tier league be on break since December 2019, and up until March or early April that the league was suspended. I mean the NPFL, no game has been fixed, no game has been played as at the time that happened, and there was no discussion. Nothing was coming out from the NNL board. Nothing was coming out from the NNL club. But at the point that they heard about promotion, about teams going back to the NPFL, then they start to wag their tails. They need to get a reward for what they've spent so far. They are not the only ones that have spent so much money. It's affecting everyone. Even European teams, they are also suffering from it. It's the adverse effect of COVID-19, aside their own internal problems that they have with the NLS. One major problem they have is funding. There's no proper funding. Since they lost that sponsorship without betting company, they've been struggling. So, and there's no league. At least you need money to run. You need money to run the league. You need money to pay the indemnities of match officials. You need it to run the league. So it's very, very important that they understand this problem and solve it as a whole. Not that they will try and come up with communiques, releases every now and then saying that there is a need for them to gain promotion. It's not possible with the number of games they've just played. Most, I think, choosers have played the most in that group. I think 5 games or so. Others have played for some 3. I think teams like Andres have played 3. So the situation in the NNL is even critical. And to the joke, the biggest joke of all was when they said they want to employ points per game for 5 games, and there are some teams have just played twice, and you still have over 50% of your league games. So you see that it's quite funny. You still have over 50% of your games to be played, and you've not played it at all. So what are you contemplating? So it's as simple as that. And even the meeting they held, I was I was happy that okay, maybe Shooting Stars and KFC did some good job. They got about 12 votes, while the other side 13, and the remaining side they failed to turn up because they feel there's no need for them to turn up. The season has been on break since December 2019. So why should we be meeting now in June or July to be discussing promotion when we've not even played or enjoyed anything or gained or got any return for our investment? So the NLL is even in a critical situation than the NPFL. And if you look at, let me just digress to the NWPL Premiership, that is the women's league. They've not played at all. And as expected, yesterday there was a release from the league organizer saying that the season uh, has been void, and they will be preparing. Next season will be 2020-2021 season, which is good for them. So they start thinking about 2020-2021 season. Unlike the NNL, they need to first solve the first problem they have by lack. They don't have sponsorship. They don't have anything. They really need to sit up. And don't forget, during the COVID-19 break, their chairman died. The Enugu State Deputy Chairman died, and now he has not been replaced. I'm not so sure about that. So the only person who has been speaking on behalf of the NNL board has been Amai Grace, the head of media. So we don't even know the head of the league board right now. We don't know. That's one critical issue they should be discussing and try and solve that. If they can solve that, maybe they will be able to discuss with some of these corporate organizations and see how they can get funding for the league, because it's quite important that they get that running first before they start concentrating. So it's a very important league, and it forms a symbiotic relationship with the NPFL because they need to promote teams to the NPFL, while the NPFL will promote teams into the NNL. But they need to solve that fundamental problem through this funding, and they need to get their act together. Very
Yeah. Now you've said the problems the NNL is actually facing, but I would like to ask this. I don't think many people know. For example, now the LMC and the NFN, Nigeria Football Federation, they are the ones in charge of the NPFL. Are these bodies, are they the one also in charge of the Nigerian National League, or do we have another body for the Nigerian National in managing the Nigerian National League?
okay. I know for the NPFL we have the LMC. The LMC is a subset of the NFF. Every league board is a subset of the NFF. NFF are the emperor of the league. They supervise everything. They control everything, and everything concerning Nigerian football they are in charge. So it's just duties that has been designated to this board. That's why we have them as board. If you go to the NWFL, that is the Nigerian Women's Football League, you have Mrs. Aisha Falude as the chairperson of the league. You understand? So we have a league board for these respective leagues. If you go to the NLO, you have Mr. Shola as the chief operating officer of the league as well. So these are just designated offices so that there will be proper organization with this thing. And when the head of the NLL is no longer available, so who do we hold accountable for all these things? So things are not looking good for the NLL. They just need to get their act together, and that's how the NFF are also there. Because as the NWFL are making their presentations to the NFF, the LMC is presenting on behalf of the NPFL. Who exactly is presenting on behalf of the NLL? So there has to be a recognized face to the NLL. I mean, the leader that will start the gap for them so that we'll be able to identify that this is where they are running to, this is what they need, especially because it's a very important league, and I'm quite disappointed that Shooting Stars will still be there come 2021.
Yeah. Now you before we move on, you said something about NNL that the biggest problem they are having right now is actually sponsorship, and I remember that Bet Niger was actually their sponsor at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What happened? Why did Bet Niger leave? Was it because of the organization, with the way the league is being organized, or what really happened? Why did Bet Niger?
Uh, on a personal note, actually, I don't work with the NNL board, and I will just give you an outsider information. I believe that Bet Niger was not getting enough, I think, from the details what I would say, because there were so many promises before the season kicked off that the NNL would be on TV. There was this TV station, TV company, I think My People TV or so, that came on board then. And it was unveiled. I remembered, I think in 2018 or 2017, when they first signed the deal with Bet Niger, that the games would be on TV. I remember that in 2018 or 2019, there about NLO was on live stream, and I think I watched a few games, especially Bagada FC's promotion game to the NLO one. I watched it live online, and they are even doing better than what the NNL is doing presently. So I think those are one of the reasons why Ben Niger has to pull us that since they are not getting much. And don't forget, they have a team in the NNL, Remo Stars, and they are also doing very well. They've been in the NPFL before. So maybe, there are so many things that is not actually clear to us. That is just like the issue with the NPFL that's passport left. There are so many things that happen behind the scenes that most of us cannot be privileged to understand. But I'm so sure that the NNL, maybe they were not doing enough. They were not doing enough. That's all.
Well, I we hope one can only hope that the Nigeria Football Federation, the LMC League Management Committee, the NLL, also probably can get their acts together, because we say that okay, Nigerians should patronize, okay, should watch local football and everything, and these administrators cannot get, as in cannot do the basic things like okay, organize a league or play football matches. You see this kind of thing still happening, and sometimes it puts people off. For example, people who are really interested in watching some of these local games, you understand. But when they hear things like this,
Uh,
it just gets annoying, and it puts people off from probably watching. For example, look at it now. I'm a Shooting Stars fan, and I would love to see Shooting Stars in the Nigeria Professional League. But right now, with what is happening in the National League, it does not look like okay, Shooting Stars will get promoted right now, because the NLL does not even have a future right now. It's not even sure that okay, there will be a league. Even let's even assume that they cancel the 2019
mm-hmm.
20 season. There's even not an assurance that okay, there will be a league next season. You understand? And
Going forward, yeah.
this should not be happen. I expect that okay, the LMC, the NFF, and the NPFL clubs should have come to an agreement that okay, how are we going to end the league season? If you look at other African countries, they've decided that okay, should we null and void the season, or should we continue? So these are things that okay, these are things that the NFF and the LMC needs to like okay get together, because if you really want to attract people, if you want people to watch these games, you really need to put your house in order. So that's what me I feel. But moving on,
Uh,
what do you think actually is really the way forward for? Because I'm particular about the NNL. What do you think is the way forward in terms of sponsorship and organization with the NNL?
the first problem, I think this will cut across several organizations, several bodies, not just football in Nigeria, is that leadership structure and that organization. I mean, internal organization. Before you even say you want to bring it out on the outside. So when you talk about, let me cite this example. When you talk about construction, now we have the superstructure and the substructure. The substructure is the foundation. The superstructure is the physical structure everyone can see. You understand? So the substructure, which is the foundation, has to be solid, has to be on the right path. And if there is no existing foundation, how do you now build on top of it? It's not possible. So the NLF, before they can say they want to even attract any meaningful sponsor, any meaningful corporate organization to come in and aid them with their finances, they really need to put something on ground. They really need to get their hands together. They need to make a board move. Because there was a point that they were saying that the board should have been replaced, but they were given a vote of confidence, I think, by the remaining members of the board or so. So they were allowed to continue. So, but right now, presently for me, I don't know if there's still a change of pattern in the area of the leadership. I don't know. So that's why I said they need to fix that, because if you can get somebody who can be a representative for the body, then you can know that, okay, this is the person that is leading us on. So we have an identity already. Aside that, this is the Nigerian National League. We have somebody that is represented, who is the face of the league. Like if you call the NPFL now, first person to call is Malam Sheudiko. If you call the NWFL, you call somebody like Mrs. Aisha Falode. So you need to get their internal organization in place, so that going forward, anything they want to do can be built on that. If they can't do that, I don't think the NLA has got any football.
Okay, anyways, let's hope that okay they get their acts right going forward. Still on the local league, there's a subject I want to talk about. Was it a few months ago, just before the coronavirus of 18? There was this
Yeah,
sad news that Ifeanyi George, a Rangers footballer, lost his life in
yeah,
a motor accident. And this week, uh, Rangers announced that okay, there's an insurance fee that has been paid to his family, which is the sum of
yeah.
20 million naira. So I would like to just ask, okay, what do you think about that gesture from Rangers Football Club?
Absolutely, it was a good one. It was a good one because they made a pronouncement immediately the incident happened, that they will take the family, they will take the situation seriously, and they will see what they can do as regards with insurance. And that's one of the things they've been clamoring for in the NPFL, that there should be insurance for these players. They shouldn't just be playing for fun, playing for the salary alone. There should be an insurance, should in case anything happens to you, the club should be able to cater for you one way or the other. Even though we are not paying for bad incidents as such to other people, but at least you should be getting something if possible. If there's a, a bad incident, at least there should be something in return. So it's a really good gesture. Even though the other team, something happened earlier as well.
Yeah,
Chimeme Martins
Martins,
died
yeah,
at Nasarawa
Man
United.
United.
So we've not had anything from
Mhm.
Nasarawa United. So I don't know what's happening with Chimeme Martins. But if you look at Rangers International, at least they are one of the foremost clubs in the league. They've won the league that took about 5 to 6 times. So it's quite a decent record for them. And if they are doing this, setting the pace for the others to follow, it's not something that is bad. I just feel that it's something that we should be doing. It's not something that we see that these players don't deserve it or they don't need it. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. They should be an asset to the club because they are the main actors of the league. They play their hearts out on the pitch and ensure that this team they get the success that they desire. And don't forget, if you're George, so because he won the IT Cup with the side. So that's what I feel as regards the situation. I just hope that other clubs can take a cue from this and let's keep forging on and keep developing as we should.
Yeah, kudos to Rangers, and I hope other clubs like Nasarawa United, because for Chineme Martins, he actually was playing. He died on the pitch or so. So I was
Yeah.
expecting Nasara in the that kind of gesture from even Nasara United. But hopefully these clubs can learn from Rangers, and probably they can start to create. Let me ask, how many clubs have insurance for their players? Do you have an idea of clubs who do provide insurance for their players?
Uh, I I don't have a definite number. I don't have a definite number. But the last time I was involved in a discussion like this, I think it was mentioned then that it was certain that Rangers had. I think there's this issue with non-declaration of things happening in the club. So sometimes you need to go the extra mile to get information out of those places. But from what I understand, I think about 2, 3, or 4 clubs, I think they have, or they are also proposing it because immediately this happened, I think some of them saw the need actually to do it, and I think one of them is Father United also. I think they're also trying to key into that idea, and I think Abia Warriors as well. So these are some of the things I think I have had about them keying into that idea and ensuring that they ensure the lives of their players. But by and large, those are the ones I can possibly mention. I think some of them might have, some of them might not. But going forward, I hope others will take a leaf out of this book and ensure that they toe the same line as Rangers International.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Now, before I let you leave, there's this discussion that I think we've had this discussion on Twitter before. But yeah, we've always had this discussion because I'm always
I
pro.
know that you're going
I know because I'm always pro road that okay, blah blah blah.
I
Now,
know,
yeah,
no.
now as it won't be okay if I don't ask you these questions because you are one of the advocates of NPFL. Like, okay, you are a staunch supporter. So,
Yeah.
as someone who watches a lot of NPFL games, local league games, who follow our local football religiously, there have been criticism leveled at Super Eagles manager Bernard Rowe that
Okay.
okay he has been omitting local league home-based players from the Super Eagles team. And recently, I think it was last week when he was asked, he said the local league players are not good enough. And even if he manages to find someone who is good enough, they leave for Europe very soon. What do you think about this comment? Do you think okay, local league players actually deserve a chance in raw squad, or is right that okay, these players are not good enough as their foreign counterparts, or okay, once even if they are good enough, they leave as soon as they get an opportunity in Europe. What does that even say about the state of our league then?
Uh, okay, I should start from the last point with as regards our players moving abroad. I think it's crystal clear. It's not something that I need to lie about. That our league is not in the position that it should be. That's why we are advocating for proper development. Sorry, that we are advocating for proper development so that we can grow to the height we want it to be. That's why most of our players, when they get an offer abroad, they move on. They move on. Not because that they are not good, but they need that stability. That stability. And if you check the NPFL, let me for example, if you come to Aqua United, the least earning player, from what I understand, is about 2 to 300,000 naira per month. So and aside match bonuses as well. So it's not that the pay is that bad, but it doesn't come with consistency when you have government running something. So that's why most of these players need to go to where it is constant, it is stable, that you know that by the end of the week, by the end of the month, something is coming in for you. So you are sure that okay, I have something coming in for me. So that's part of the reason or major reason why most of them move abroad, and maybe possibly for exposure. For exposure. Generally, football development in Nigeria is quite good. Though we have the talent, no doubt, we've got the talent across all board. If I walk through the streets now, you see kids playing for you. So they are amazed at the level of skill and talent that they have. They are raw. They just need some proper fine tuning so that they will gel into that proper style. So it's a general problem with Nigeria because it's all across, not just the league. So to the Raw Super Eagles NPFL bro, personally, because I want to state categorically because I'm not a fan of this discourse. I'm not a fan, honestly. And I think we've not had this discussion at all. So that's why I need to state it categorically here. Because I feel that there are more pressing issues for us to discuss than we start trying to divide the Super Eagles and NPFL home-based foreign policies and that. I'm not comfortable with that because I feel the first primary assignment of the NFF is to develop football.
Mm.
That should be our major issue. They should leave the managers to do their job in the Super Eagles. They should leave them to do their job. That's my own point of view because I feel if we develop fairly and we have the right things and the right tools in order, who says that the Super Eagles coach won't do the right thing? Because I feel that they've given him so much and they are not taking the league seriously. That's why he's got the opportunity to do the things he can do. Like talk down about the league saying that the players are not good enough. They are not good enough. I don't think that's the right word to use. If you say you are not picking them because you feel that the players are poor, you see that they are easier to work with for you, it's better than you saying that the players are not good enough. We've seen countless of stars that have come, and don't forget that even the formation yet of the Super Eagles, the Green Eagles, that came from the league, and it's as a result of development here and there that made this old made this a paradigm shift whereby we need to work on and rely on players from abroad. And I think I quoted a tweet recently whereby we had earlier this week about a player in Austria, and I said it's not all these foreign players. And I was also in a discussion with somebody saying that not these eligible players that are eligible players for Nigeria that are good for us, honestly. Because when I begin to look at the situation of this, if you look at the likes of Maduka Okoye, who
Yeah.
is at least he's elected to be one of our future goalkeepers now. He has not been playing regularly. But when it comes to the Super Eagles, because he's playing in Germany, this and that, they feel okay, he has arrived, something like that. So I think it's not a fair metric for you to judge the players of the NPFL. It's not good at all. But I wouldn't take that kind of picture from the Super Eagles technical advisor or chief coach or head coach as the case may be. But personally, I feel that the onus lies on the NFF to do the right thing. I think we are just clamoring for what it is crystal clear that the manager is very interested. We are just trying to force him to do it. So as long as he's very interested, why don't we use that period to fix our own and ensure that we give our players the right exposure so that we will not be clamoring for what is not when we should be doing the right thing.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think if you remember, Kelly, you tagged me on a tweet, like was he on Monday about one Austrian-born guy, and I said we should not be
Yeah,
interested in every Nigerian born abroad to play for Super Eagles because okay, he was playing in a lower league. I think he just moved to a lower league in Germany. You understand? So I now said no, 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 no. Those are not the kind of players that
yeah,
you should be looking for. If you're looking for players born abroad or foreign players, they should be playing in quality leagues, not playing in some
yeah,
Division Two league. And I wrote a piece on this guy Cyril Dessers about his move to Genk.
yeah, yeah. Very true.
Where I said it was not really, it shows that okay, he's not really better than what we have currently in the Super Eagles. So these are things
Ah,
that
yeah,
I love what
very true.
Genetor has done since he came in. Stability he has brought, the players he has brought in, you understand. But then we should not now say because okay we want foreign players or because our local league is not well organized, so we should start picking every pick and every that was born in abroad to come and play for the Super Eagles. Do they have the quality? Do they have the quality to make the team better? So these are things that I think we should look at first before saying okay we should beg one player to come and play for the Super Eagles. So these are things I think. And concerning the NPFL
Very good.
NPFL matter, I agree with you that Raw should say way Raw worded it that okay they are not good players in the NPFL. It's not the right way to say it. But I don't blame him also because he does not get the chance to see these players on a regular basis. You understand? So it's important that okay,
But he has signed a new contract. He has signed a new contract. Maybe we see him.
yeah, but the
I
thing
said
is
since he has signed a new
new
contract.
contract.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the thing is, he has signed a new contract, and part of the
yeah. I
contract,
said
part of the conditions in the contract is that okay, he should nurture, he should develop local league talents. You understand? But the thing is, look at it now. The league is still on suspension for about 4 months right now, and there's even no date scheduled date yet
okay.
when the 2021 season would resume. You understand? So these are things that the NFF needs to work on first before advocating for okay local league representation in the national team.
Yeah, very true, very true. I'm not a fan of this quota system of it. If you are so comfortable to work with five, six, seven NPFL players, who says you can't? At least it's your job to do. Once you just know that it's by 2032, as it has been highlighted in a contract that it was going to be. All right. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what we are waiting for, and I hope that like going to get it right with what is being present. Because aside that fact, I believe that the Super Eagles setup should be a collection of our best players in this position, not some makeshift. That's why I always have problem with some players that are being invited into the Super Eagles setup. When you look at them in their club side, it's not that they are playing something so important or something playing cogent roles in their team. So why are you not inviting them? Are they just there to make up the numbers? No, it shouldn't be like that. At least there should be still competitions. We've got various good players scattered all over the world, scattered in Europe. We also have them in Europe. We might just make a case that okay, possibly because of our regular schedule over here is playing a part in their performance. But nevertheless, that doesn't take away the quality that they can also add to the team. But by and large, I feel that for us to have a formidable team, the NFF needs to work with the man at the helm of affairs so that we can achieve the show him of winning that 2020 before even thinking of going to the next World Cup.
yeah. I think I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. Anyways, it's actually been a refreshing time with you. Like, okay, informative time. I am not really a big fan of the local league, but anytime I get to sit down with you to talk about local league football, the happenings in local league football, it is always full of knowledge. So thank you for coming on the show, Sam.
Thanks, Over. Thanks for having me.
Uh,
Past few weeks has been quite good for me. At least I've been able to feature on a few podcasts and a few videos, and I think I'm excited. At least the work I've been doing has not gone unnoticed, so it's a plus for me. I just
yeah.
hope that the labor that we are putting in presently will result in something tangible in the very end.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, that's true. I hope our leaders, our football leaders, can get their acts right together and take the Nigerian professional league and the Nigerian national league to the next level. And I hope that when anytime we are interested, okay, in having you back on the show, you hit to our call also.
Always. I'll use your call. Always.
Right.
Thanks, man.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so guys, we are at the end of this week's show. You can check the video out on our YouTube page, Soccernet underscore NG, and drop your comments. You can also subscribe also. So anytime we drop a video, you receive an alert. So thank you guys, and we'll be back again next week.